Um, there is a follower of mine on TikTok who made a comment on one of the posts I made. This time I'm gonna address you in English, and I hope I'll be able to beat the record from the 1 minute he talked about, maybe to 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 minutes, or 7 or 8 or 10. Yeah, he commented on one of the posts I made on TikTok, and he said, basing on the way I'm seeing you speaking, I see you can't speak in English for more than 1 minute. I think that's what he said. Okay, let me address that issue with a broader perspective, and I hope we can learn something out of it. Yeah, I'm not even complaining, I'm not even cursing anyone. I'm just happy that someone can openly express themselves. But I think I also have the right to say something about it, but also think we can learn something out of that. Now, we almost all of us have the first and the second language. Other people have 3 languages, 4 languages, but there is that first language and the second language. Myself, English is my second language. This is the point. You speaking and understanding and reading and writing your second language doesn't define your integrity, doesn't define your smartness. I'm saying this in English because I want to beat the record he talked about. Let me quote or speak out 2 examples about my point. We have a brother called Matthias Mpuga Nsamba, one of the former leaders of Buganda, the Buganda Kingdom, but he's also one of the former leader of opposition in parliament, and also the fired commissioner of parliament. Why was he fired? Because he failed to keep his integrity up, and he fought hard to bring it down. But listen to this. He is a gentleman who knows how to speak his second language, which is English, to the perfection. He is a good one. By the way, him and his former boss, the Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, are very good English speakers. But different people have different ways they see them, how they treat themselves, the things they decide to do and engage in define them differently than the English they speak. Let me give you another example. This one is a laughable one. We have a young man. Oh, he's an old man now. Mhoz Kainerugaba. Now, this is a man who was educated on the taxpayers' money. He's a man, I think, who knows how to write English, because we know, yes, he studied. He's a man who knows how to read English, and yes, he does read it. Of course, he can't speak it too well, but he's a good man in writing it and reading it. But when you see him writing posts on Twitter, when you see him making utter statements, ridiculous statements to the public, to the people, he claims his father leads, then that defines him. Yes, it does define him. Not the English he studied in all the countries he says he went to. So, Sometimes when I speak that one sentence in English when I'm making a video, I just want it to be the headline for the bigger audience to get my point. Then I go back to Luganda, because most of the people that want to get my message do not know English, don't have a second language. Their language is the language in their own birthplaces. The Abaganda, the Ankole people, they are actually, not even actually, the Abaganda, the people from the ghetto, let me say that. They are the Vasogas, people from the ghetto who don't know any kind of English. And this has been always the problem in this regime. They have always tried to hide things that we needed to know, us from the ghetto, by either writing it in English or by either working so hard that we don't go to school to study, to know what is inside the papers, like the budget papers, the national budget papers, like the ministries, the health ministry, the education ministry. We don't understand what is there, because we can sometimes, yes, read, but we can't even understand. How I wish that all these books, all these documents were presented to us in our own languages. Many times when we make videos in Luganda, I myself, I want to ask people to do translate them to their own languages, if they can, because that will be the role you can ever make in the struggle we are in. That will be the role. Why? Because people only need to understand the message. People don't even need to know your English. They don't even need to know how good are you in your second languages. What they need to know is how can you present something to them for them to understand it in any language. I thank some of the people that come out and do translate my videos in different languages, because we need to have messages go as viral as we can. Make them go, but not just speak to the smaller audience, which is the elite. Yes, they are the elite, but look at how they do treat themselves, the Mpugas of this world and many others, the Muhozis of this world, a son of the president. But see who the Muhozi we have in Uganda looks like. Do you even admire meeting him, talking to him? No, you don't. Why? Because he doesn't know English? No, he knows it. But because he treats himself like that person who never went to school. So, you knowing your second language does not define you. But the way you treat yourself, the way you present yourself, the way you lift your integrity, your intelligence, the way you speak to people, the way you handle yourself, all those things added together do define you. So, as we keep fighting, let us even continue presenting ourselves in our own languages. And I know the next government will make sure we all learn our languages, the birth languages. That will help us even grow more, even have a better system where people can hold us accountable to whatever we do, because they can rise and speak in our own languages. The English language and many other languages are colonial tools and not intelligence checks. I love you all. God bless you. My name is Ashraf.